Let's find the inverse. So you're going to change out this guy with the y. 5 times the fifth root x minus 2. Now you switch out x and y because we're finding the inverse function. And now we want to get y by itself. So this has got to go, the times 5 has got to go, and the fifth root has to go. So we're going to add the 2 away. Now this is being multiplied by 5, so we got to get rid of the 5 next. And 5 divided by 5 cancels to 1. Then how do you get rid of the fifth root? You take the power of 5. 5 and the fifth root cancel each other off. So you're left with the inverse function w of x plus 2 over 5 to the fifth power. Now, there's another way of doing this question without doing this whole solving thing, and it is you look at the function. Sometimes it works, sometimes it's a little bit harder to do. But you ask yourself, if I was to plug a value in for x, what order of operations would you have to follow? So if I plug a value in for x, let's say I plug in a 1. First thing I would do is the fifth root. What's the second thing I would do? I'd multiply by 5. The last thing I would do is then subtract 2. The inverse is these, you're going to undo each one of these steps with its opposite. So the opposite of, for instance, what's the opposite of minus 2? Plus 2. What's the opposite of times 5? Divide by 5. What's the opposite of a fifth root? Power of 5. Alright, so what you do now is instead of doing this in order of 1, 2, 3, you go in reverse. This is the first, and this is the second step, and that's the third step. So you take a plain old x, you add 2 to that quantity, alright. Now you divide that by 5, alright, and then all of that has to be a power of 5. So now we've undone, we're completely doing the opposite. It's an inverse. You're inverting it. You're taking the operations and doing the opposite of those operations in reverse order. So you can get the same answer by doing it like this, and if you do it like you're in green, or like this method, you can actually do them in your head.